While many people may think they have what it takes to become a successful comedian, they soon realize it is not easy. Many people have tried and failed at comedy, and some say it's only the strong that survives. Richard Dubus is not afraid to give it a try. A sophomore majoring in mass communication, he knows the challenge of comedy.
I started doing comedy my senior year of high school because people always told me I was funny, and we had a retreat where people would go up and talk about how, you know, someone touched them or something like that, a very sad story. And I just went up and I talked about my mother, and everyone thought it was funny, and everyone was like, dude, you should do stand-up. And I was like, you know, no, I'm not that funny. And then one day I watched a presentation about a girl who wrote an essay about how you should impact the world with kindness. And something clicked that I should impact the world with comedy, and that gave me the courage to do stand-up comedy. 4/21 was my date of my first show ever, and it was at the Howling Wolf, and it went over all right. And that was about a year and a half ago, a little over a year and a half ago.
Richard writes his own material and has developed his own unique style over his career.
I used to just do dirty jokes and try to get on with that, but now I kind of doing more story comedy and more improv relating to the audience because, I don't know, my life is pretty funny, so I try to incorporate that in my comedy, and also getting people from the audience into my comedy I think adds and separates me from the crowd. And it's something I think I'm pretty good at. That was crying in the bathroom like a teenage girl. Or like you on prom when your cousin left you.
Oh my god, you did. So depressing.
Everybody wants to make it big and, you know, get a comedy special. That's ultimately every comedian's goal. But really my goal now is to be booked more. You know, have people call me up and do more paid shows and be a regular at places. And eventually I'd like to get to the point where bars call me up to host shows and stuff. And that's really my near goal in comedy. You can find most of my comedy on my fan page, which is Comedian Richard D is what you search, and then the URL is facebook.com/rmdubus, D-U-B-U-S. And you can like the page, watch a few videos. I think I have over 170 people so far, something like that. And find out where there's local comedy in your area. Where to start is you go to open mics, you perform, you talk to comedians, and then comedians will help you find work. That's usually how you start, by getting shows and stuff. And then if you want to start comedy, my biggest advice to you is practice a set, write down a set, and do the set over and over and over. Because new people think, hey, I'm funny and I can improv, and you really, when you get on stage, it's a whole different monster. And if other comedians see that you practice and you worked hard on your set, they're more likely to give you shows and respect you better than someone who just went up there and improv'd it. Math, you look like a math guy, because it's a red shirt. I think when I think of math, I think of red like blood, because that's my test. Hey, I suck at math?
Yeah.
I just know 1 + 1 = 2.
Are you sure about that?
I don't know, I need a calculator. My favorite show, it would have to be, my favorite show would have to be the one where I was in a bar, the bar was called the Maison, and I was doing my set, and all of a sudden this drunken old guy out of nowhere comes up to the stage and lays down in front of me, and then got up and walked away. And it was just one of those memorable moments because it was, I mean, not many people were listening to my set beforehand. I was kind of young. But after that happened, everyone in the bar was looking at me, and I was just cracking jokes about him and making everybody laugh. And it was probably one of the funnier moments in my career because it was just, it was just some drunken dude.
He believes whether you're an amateur or a professional, the key to being a great comedian is to be yourself, have self-confidence, and don't be afraid while performing in front of others. Richard has performed at various school events, including open mics at Jasmine's Cafe. He also headlined a comedy show for the Math Club. However, he doesn't plan to stop here in college. He hopes to get better at comedy and hopes to one day become a professional. To see more of Richard's work, visit his fan page on Facebook.